Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the Lennie Robbins YouTube show. Know your politics, creating a better understanding for everyone. The emphasis here is to clearly state that as Jamaicans, we now need to really watch what politicians do. We must watch what they do. I want to use this opportunity to jump onto a Gleaner headline that I saw in the Gleaner publication on March the 27th. And the headline reads, "Who you are to keep tabs on the cost. Who you are to keep tabs on the cost at Royal Kobe water treatment plant over in St. Catherine in Content District." Now that's a very eye-catching headline, and I know I'm not the only one who saw that. But on the backdrop of watching what they do, I decided to read that article. And I read it 2-3 times over. And I've made some bullet points arising out of what I've read, and I'd really like to share them and point out the fact how important it is for really watch what politicians do. Not only just listen to what they're saying, but watch what they do. The OUR was there, and he was the main speaker there, I do believe, because the Gleaner publication, as you know, it's just about what the OUR Director General said, Mr. Hewitt. Other agencies were there, I do believe the private members of the private sector, environmental people, and all of these things were there. I'm not sure, but I stand corrected by that. Now, just to jump on the bullet points arising out of reading that article, the bullet points that I made, I started out number one. Mr. Hewitt made sure that he want to ensure customers get the best rates possible. Best rate possible. No, but I'm kind of moving forward too fast. The project itself started this year in March. Ground was broken in March. The speech given by Mr. Hewitt, published by the Gleaner, was after the groundbreaking. Now this is a 2-year project. It's going to take 2 years to complete. So we are looking at sometime in 2026. The cost of this project is $12 billion. I think it's 12 billion Jamaican dollars. 12 billion Jamaican dollars. So here are my bullet points. The Director General, Mr. Hewitt, stated that one, he wants to make sure the customers get the best rate possible. And that over 600,000 at the completion of this project, over 600,000 NWC customers will benefit from this. Will benefit from the water treatment plant. However, he goes on to state number 3 that the project, he goes on to state that the project came up for financing at a time when interest rate is high. So therefore, number 4, OUR, under his leadership, will make sure to examine all the project's major cost components. And by that he means cost component, he means capital, which is at $12 billion. The technology, the cost of technology going into place, and the cost of water treatment. They're just some of the components. We're mentioning a few, right? Now, OUR also wants to make sure that the cost of all treatment is aligned. The cost of the treatment is aligned with benchmark. Now you're the catchword. If you want to underline this word benchmark. What does benchmark mean in this sense? For Mr. Hewitt, benchmark means given what is reasonable for the environment. Now this is the explanation given. Given what is reasonable for the environment. Go back to the article, the Gleaner article. If anyone thinks I'm not saying what is written there, because I'm quoting, we can go back to that article published March 27th, Daily Gleaner. Now, what do we mean by given what is reasonable for the environment? What is the environment under the circumstances here? It did not state. And there's a reason why they did not state that. Because the environment is not specific, it's not mentioning anything specific here. It's a wide open, vague expression or statement made by Mr. Hewitt. Because they know clearly that we watch carefully what they say, we listen to what they say, but we're not watching what they do. So along the way, if anything should derail or goes wrong, we can't say nothing. If they fail to achieve certain things with this project that they have in place, oh, I didn't say that, we didn't do that, we didn't promise that. Watch what they do. We're going to say. Right? Now here's the other thing that Mr. Hewitt said. After the completion of this project, for the next 23 years, the project will be operated by private partners under a private-public partnership arrangement. Listen again. After the completion of this project, the plant or the treatment plant will be operated for the next 23 years by private partners under a private-public partnership. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? A partner under public-private partnership, I leave out the very important word, arrangement. I leave out the very important, the most important word, arrangement. Right? No, not an agreement. Mark you, not an agreement. And if I'm lying here, I need someone to come and tell me that an arrangement and agreement is the same. Because as far as I'm concerned, I know they're two different things. Agreement and arrangement are two different, separate things. And I'm quoting this from Mr. Hewitt. 23 years of function under private partners by private partners under a private-public partnership arrangement. Now note the absence of the word agreement. Also, he wants to make sure that he's going to make sure that a flexibility in cost to the customer, the end users of this water treatment plant, the 600,000 who will benefit. You want to make sure that there's a flexibility in cost. A flexibility in cost to these 600,000 people must be present in the cost of them. Now, let us go back. Let us backtrack. I say all of that first to backtrack because those are the bullet points. But let us go back. This project cost 12 billion Jamaican dollars. Comes at a time when the financing for it comes at a time when interest rate is high. Right? Let us look at what flexibility in cost to customers. How does this tie into all of that? Now, take it the $12 billion is borrowed money. Borrowed money coming from wherever. And wherever Jamaica borrowed that money from, I do believe they may be paying that debt back in US dollars. This is the catch. Now listen to me carefully. If I'm not making sense here, I'll stand to be corrected. Leave your comment and let me know. US dollars. Now by stating that the OUR, by stating that they want to make sure that the flexibility in cost to the customer is present, that's their end of the, because they're the end users and they will be, we are the end users are the ones who are paying back this $12 billion. Not the workers at the plant, the end users will be paying back that $12 billion, because if they don't, it's going to fall on us taxpayers again. Now, when you say the flexibility in costs must be present, And if this 12 billion has to be paid back in US dollars, let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. What is the chances of the US dollar devaluating to the point where it becomes a significant benefit for the 600,000 end users of this treated water? Where? Looking at the US dollar trend over the past couple of years, 10 years ago, where is it going? Is it getting any less costly for us, or is it getting more expensive? The indication is that it's going to get more expensive. So he puts that in there to tell the customers that if your initial cost at the end of the month, when we start to run this plant, if your initial cost of using the water, well, let us say $3,000 at the end of the month, and a family of four, or $4,000. By 26, maybe $4,000 or $5,000, depending on the interest rate, because it says the interest rate is high. So it may be $4,000 or $5,000 still, because you're getting good treated water. If that dollars that we are paying back in US dollars, that US dollars goes up, which brings more pressure on our dollars, cost us more. What will be the cost to you, the consumers? Just bear in mind that your cost is going to go up. That's what flexibility in cost to you means. They say they're not telling us specifically. Mr. Hewitt, make sure not to tell us specifically. Or be specific about it. Because it knows for sure, as government representative, as people, as an office representing government interests, they know for sure that we don't watch what they do, but we will listen to what they say. We'll read what they say. But we need now to start to pay close attention to what they say. And these simple little things, not being specific about anything. It's clearly where they get away. It's clearly where we lose focus. Because they know that we don't take a fine-teeth comb through all of these things that has been said. And we now need to really start to analyze what they're saying. Because that's the only way we're going to get a grip and get an understanding of what they do. And not just what they do, because by watching what they do, we know what they don't do. Because in the long run, they can make all the feel-good story and speeches they want, because we are the consumers that are going to suffer in the long run. We are the consumers that will suffer. And notice, everything around you goes up. The cost of goods and services in Jamaica is going up. Does your salary increases at a rate to keep pace with the cost of living? No. So even 2026, there's no guarantee to all Mr. Hewitt is promising that the OUR will do. There's no guarantee to nothing. And this is what we're saying. When you speak to people, you come out and say what is so. We don't need you to come and give vague and unexplained reasons and unexplained and things that can be interpreted 3, 4, 5 ways. We need to hear specific. The people need to hear specific. To hear specific. It's important for us to do. I want to just throw words alongside that one quick analogy. Someone in the US sends you $200 remittance. You goes to a bank that has a Western Union outlet or a MoneyGram outlet, and you collect that money. Whatever the amount they pay you, they give you for that $200 that was sent to you. Do not leave the bank. Do not leave the bank. Collect the money, sign for it, receive it, and tell the lady or whomever, the agent you collect that money from, tell them you want to buy back $200. And I guarantee you that what you collect in your hand cannot pay for the $200 you just sold to the government. Buying it back from them is going to be far more expensive than what they give it to you for, what they buy it from you for. You have no choice. They buy it from you at their cost. Now, if they're going to sell you back, they're going to make their money on it. Now, just imagine we're paying back this 12 billion US dollars, Jamaican dollars, but whatever the US comes to make that amount, we have to pay back that loan in US dollars. How many years it's going to take for consumers, end users, to start to cry at the expense and the cost of their water bill? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to use this opportunity to welcome Jamaicans that said home and abroad. It is time for us to really take a close look at what they do. Not just to only continue to listen to government, but it's important. Take notes. If you think you're going to forget something, take notes. Because like I said, if you don't take notes, read and reread and listen and re-listen and go through things, and things that you're not clear on, make notes of them. Make notes of the things you don't clear on. Make note of them, because that's the only way you're going to be able to understand exactly what government is doing and what they're not doing. Very important. Very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Lennie Robbins Show. I ask that you subscribe. I ask that you leave a comment. You show your like, your dislike, whichever way you want to go, because it's important. I keep assessing, reassessing where I am, what's going on. And if for any reason people think that I'm not onto something here, say so. Say so. I'm happy to know that, because it helps me to reassess what we're doing and reassess especially what I'm doing. I also want to highlight something here, because in my next video coming up very shortly, I've done some research over the past week, 2 weeks, and my next video coming up very soon, very shortly, in a couple of days, is all about the practice of government. All about the practice of government. And so far I've looked at two persons. Michael Phillips from North Western Manchester and Pernell Charles Jr. over in Clarendon. None of these two people live in their constituency. None of these two MPs lived in their constituency. These two MPs have shitload of responsibility in Parliament. Their attendance record in Parliament is above reproach. So I ask the question, where do you find the time? That's my next video. Where and how do you find the time for your constituency? I'm quite sure councillors and caretakers didn't vote for you to go into Parliament, but they didn't get you there. The people of your constituency to get you there. And if you spend 70 or 80% of your time in Parliament, you have a family. What percentage of your time you spend in a family? What percentage of time you're going to spend with your constituency? The people who put you in power. Ladies and gentlemen, just notice when you break down the politics, just notice how we are shortchanged. We the people are always shortchanged. We carry the burden of the country on our backs. We do everything. I don't want to give away this video, but that's going to be my video next time. When do you find the time? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the Lennie Robbins YouTube channel. Know your politics, creating a better understanding. It is important. Watch what they do. Watch what they do so you can know what they don't do. It is us, our responsibility. Watch what they do. Thank you very much. See you in a couple of days' time.